Good evening. Thank you for that beautiful introduction. And today when I came in about an hour earlier, hour and a half earlier, and somebody did tell me about Swamiji. Not heard? Can you hear me now? Yeah. Somebody had told me about Swamiji in the campus. And बस मैंने एक इच्छा रखी थी कि मेरे को उनको देखना है, उनको मिलना है. And I am so grateful. I mean, ऐसे बोलते हैं ना कि जो पावर जो माइंड में होल्ड करो वो होता है. It has always happened with me. But I am so grateful that, he's here in our presence. And my pranams to you. And it's fine. And my humble respects to all of you present here. I am truly indebted to be here amongst you to share my thoughts on applied spirituality for a sustainable future. Earlier I was thinking whether I should make a presentation because it's only 8 minutes, I was not sure. Then I said, let me go narrative. Do you know what's a narrative? A story. But then I didn't want to pick up any story from anywhere else. So I said, let me share my story. Because I think applied spirituality का जो निचोड़ है वो मेरी लाइफ में है. तो मैं वो शेयर करूं. And then see how we can build. So I welcome all of you on that journey with me. So spirituality entered my life consciously it entered my life when I was 18 years old. Why? How? I was not very focused in my childhood. And my mother told me, इसको अगर focus लाना है तो इसको चिन्मया mission भेज देते हैं. My mother thought that अगर चिन्मया mission जाऊंगी तो focus आ जाएगा. So I went to the mission and खूब सेवा की मैंने वहाँ पे. So गीता ज्ञान यज्ञास organize किए, भजन गाया, बहुत साधना की, meditation, all of that came into my life. I still remember I used to go to college and my college was from 7 to 10:30. And after 10:30, I would run to the mission. I used to live in Mumbai. So I used to go to the mission and do the seva. And every day I would eat 2 vada pav and 2 chai as my lunch. And then come home in the evening. My mother would see that I have not had my lunch. And she would yell at me, again you didn't have lunch. I've cooked with so much love. But that was my growing up years. And truly I learned in those years of my life, youth years, जब मेरे सारे friends बाहर जाते थे and then they would do masti and maja, I used to do my own masti and maja in the Chinmaya mission. I used to enjoy going there and I truly understood the meaning, the difference between what is spirituality and religion. And then I got an opportunity to teach children. They had the Bala Vihar, so I could teach children, with fun and games and a lot of fun. I could teach them values through storytelling, through many other ways. I enjoyed because I became a kid myself, yet I knew why I am there, what I was doing. And it was very interesting. One thing that I realized, at that time, there was, I understood spirituality a little further that time. And I realized that spirituality ka meaning kya hai? It is about looking within. There are 2 aspects of life. One is the outer aspect and one is the inner aspect. And I realized for me, spirituality was looking within. It was an inward journey. And when I was with children or when the Swamijis used to be with me, that is what they were asking us to do. They were asking us to pause and look within. And I learned it experientially. And then life happened to me. I got married and all of that. I was not so associated with the mission. I later on shifted to Bangalore and mission se nata actually छूट गया because यहाँ पे close by नहीं था center तो छूट गया. But one बड़ी सीख जो मुझे मिली थी when I was about 19 years old was about this concept of Panchakoshas, which is coming from the Taittiriya Upanishad, where I understood that I am not just the body. I have many sheets. There is the Annamaya Kosha, the Pranamaya Kosha, the Manomaya Kosha, the Vijnanamaya Kosha and the Anandamaya Kosha. And प्रयास ये है कि उसके आगे जाए. बट उस समय पे मुझे ये नहीं मालूम था. मुझे पता था कि मैं बॉडी नहीं हूँ. और And I kept searching. Anytime I would be off balance. I mean, there were many times in my life when I was off balance. And every time I would go inside and ask myself, what is throwing me off balance? What is happening to me? I always ask this question. And I remember my friends used to tell me, yeah, why do you think so much? Why do you have to always reflect? Why do you always do this? But I didn't know why. Now when I'm reflecting, I know. But at that time, it was a nature. I always used to reflect because I want to know the reason what threw me off balance so that I don't repeat it. But I would repeat it. You know, it always happened that some other instance would happen in the outer, but the same thing I would repeat. And again, I would tell myself, Arey, I didn't learn from the previous instant. Again, you're repeating the same thing. What kind of a learner are you? And I used to be proud of myself that I'm a great learner. But yet I would repeat the same thing. So I never could figure out, what was repeating, what was going on inside me because of which I was repeating the same thing. Then again, this Panchakoshas came back to my memory. And I said, okay, let me understand what is really going wrong. And I discovered one thing. And all this journey for me is applied spirituality. And which is why I'm telling you in such detail. I realized that out of the 5 layers, the big layer which is a culprit in my life is the Manomaya Kosha, the world of emotions. I would go from extremely overjoyed to extremely sulking, from one end to the other. And who would bear the brunt of all of this? Unfortunately, at that time, it used to be my children. Poor thing. They were young. And every time I would get angry, I would lash on them. And after lashing, I would feel majorly guilty about it. Why did I do this? I would reflect, but again it used to happen. The same thing used to happen again and again. And one day I said, enough is enough. I can't continue this. I went back to resorting to many practices. I am a psychologist, so I know many psychological tools. But it was not enough for me. I was in therapy. I did go to different people, different coaches. I took to spirituality, to meditation, to silence, to body work. I have been a dancer in my life, but I did not want to dance to perform. So I used dance as a movement practice to look at when I get angry, what is happening in my body? Which part of my body is getting triggered? What can I do with that body part to calm it down? And I figured out many practices to calm my emotions. Did it help? Of course. Because I realized in this whole process, and all of this was for about a decade. इस दौरान मैंने कंपनी भी छोड़ी. I was in a great corporate job, but वो मज़ा नहीं आ रहा था मुझे. And मुझे लगा था कि मज़ा नहीं आओ तो छोड़ दो. तो मैंने छोड़ा and I dedicated my time to really looking within, understanding who am I, what is my purpose in life. और मेरी खुद की साधना भी चल रही थी. After many years, I realized that this is the purpose of my life. जो मैंने खुद के साथ किया है, बहुत अनेक लोग हैं वहाँ पे बाहर जो सेम जर्नी करना चाहते हैं, शायद कर नहीं पाएंगे अपने आप, क्योंकि मैंने बहुत सहायता ली इधर उधर. I took a lot of help. And now I could be that instrument, I could be that source to do it for the others. But then I realized, where do I start? How do I bring this? And the other thing I realized that anything I do, it will be with spirituality. Because that is who I am in the core of my being. I have received, that seed is inside me. And whatever I do in my outer space or in my doing space, it will have that shade of psychology and HR and other things, plus spirituality. So I realized that applied spirituality is my life. It is my message to the world. It is my purpose to the world. So where did I go? I went back to corporates because I understand them very clearly. I was one person there, before. And I knew I suffered, but I didn't know why I was suffering. So now I knew that I could go back there and help people who are suffering, but not before time. If they feel they are suffering, only then I can help. If they don't feel, if they are unconscious, I cannot help. And from there emerged my philosophy. And the philosophy is called, very simple, root to shoot. We've all observed nature. Yeah? When a seed goes inside, when we sow a seed on earth, what comes first? What comes first? Roots, correct? And when the root, when it goes inside, what is bound to come? Shoot. And it is so simple. Nature is so beautiful. It teaches us. And I found that is the process I went through. I was shooting in corporate, but it was not fulfilling. So I went back to that decade where I rooted, and then I shooted in the way I wanted to. And this process can be available to people. And for me, this is applied spirituality. The whole process of root to shoot. And when people say, I don't want to root, it takes too much time. I don't want to know what is my emotions. I don't want to know what my thoughts are. I just want to succeed. I just want to make a crore. I just want to get this. I just want to get that. I would say it's like the seed saying, I don't have time to root. I want to just shoot. Is it possible? Is it possible? Is it sustainable? No, it is not sustainable. The seed has to root. And it will automatically shoot. So when we human beings do our sadhana, when we human beings do all the practices, live as rhythmically as nature lives by itself, automatically we are bound to shoot. We are bound to get outer success. And it's nature's law. And that is what, right now, these days, this is what I do. I take the root to shoot philosophy to corporate professionals, to leaders, to entrepreneurs, to doctors, to different set of people, to schools, to students. I am currently, once a week, I go and teach in a school. I teach them movement. I teach them how to live in their body, so that they don't struggle later. So I'm going to just, one of the workshops, I make my participants sing. Now they feel first, it's very silly. Why are you making me sing? What is the big deal in this? But then, can you all stand up and sing with me? So let's just see what happens to you when you do this. Can you hear me? Can you see me, kind of? Yeah? All those who can get up, it would be great. So you just have to repeat what I say and, and do what I do. Right? Ready? And tumbai, 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 and tumbai, 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 tumbai. Repeat. Tumbai, 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 tumbai. Move like me. Tumbai, 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 tumbai. Ding ding dong, diddy diddy dong, diddy 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 dong dong. Ding ding dong, diddy diddy dong, diddy 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 dong dong. Ding ding dong, diddy diddy dong, diddy 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 dong dong. Ding ding dong, diddy diddy dong, diddy 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 dong dong. La 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 la. La 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 la. Tumbai, 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 tumbai. Ding ding dong, diddy diddy dong, diddy diddy dong dong. Ding ding dong, diddy diddy dong, diddy diddy dong dong. La 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 la. La 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 la. Tumbai, 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 tumbai. I could see almost all of you smiling. How did you feel when you did this? Nice? Happy? Joyous? This is exactly people there in corporate need. And simply in just 2 minutes or 1 minute, you can feel that energy shoot up. You're shaken off all your dukh, dard, whatever thoughts, everything. And you've come back to the present. Yeah? Now, these are simple ways in which I am trying to be an instrument to take applied spirituality to humanity. And you may ask why. I just have one simple funda. If I change, the environment around me changes. And I'll tell you how. You know, one of the participants in my workshop, he came and told me, Madam, can you record this? I said, why do you want me to record? He told me, I want to show my son and do it with him. So can you see? He became joyous and he's taking it to his family. Yeah? And then I have another client whose son is 1.5 years old and he unfortunately was suffering from cancer. So I recorded such songs, and during the time of the child was going through chemo, he used to listen to this. Small things, you know, simple things. And the child would insist that the entire family sing. So the entire 4 of them would sing together. So how one person feels joyous and then spreads to the other, and the whole ecosystem changes. And this truly, I feel, is applied spirituality. Because when spirituality goes to every person, every house, the whole ecosystem changes. Imagine the humankind change. Imagine the world change. Imagine everything change. The whole unconscious becomes conscious, and we all turn happy and joyous. That's my vision, and that's the note I leave this dais right now. Thank you.